Over the weekend, myself and some friends of mine had a chance to play the Skull and Bones open beta. And to be honest, I don't think it should be called a beta because the game is literally coming out this week. So it should have just been called like an open demo. So it'll be releasing on February 16th for the PS5, Xbox Series, PC, and Amazon Luna. Overall, this game was a little bit more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. I've been covering it off and on for the past few years, and I have some thoughts about it, as well as whether or not I think that Skull and Bones is worth the current price tag. By the way, let me know if you think that Skull and Bones is worth $70 for the standard edition, or $100 for the premium edition, or would you pay considerably less for Skull and Bones? Feel free and let me know in the comments section. So this quadruple A title is also a live service game, which means that they're going to be trying to make money off of more than simply just selling copies of Skull and Bones. In fact, they already have a full 1-year roadmap scheduled with, I guess, 4 seasons, and there's some interesting content that is coming our way. I guess it's going to last like each season like 3 months for a full year. Whether or not we actually get a year 2 remains to be seen. Skull and Bones has been in development for nearly a decade now. That's crazy, but it's true. Originally imagined as a sequel to Assassin's Creed Black Flag, officially announced in 2017, had a few delays, and $120+ million spent thanks to the Singapore government, which is probably one of the big reasons why Ubisoft decided to go through with releasing Skull and Bones instead of canceling it. The logic in not canceling it is obviously they don't want a government suing them. That would be really, really bad PR for Ubisoft. So they want to make enough money to pay back the Singapore government, as well as, keep the investors happy and I guess just get above water, so to speak. But Skull and Bones will soon be available for everyone to purchase and play. But the question is, once again, is Skull and Bones worth $70, $100, or much less? The tutorial was underwhelming. I just felt like it was very arcadey at the beginning with all these ships coming after you, and I was not really enjoying myself as much at the beginning. But once I got through the tutorial and to St. Anne, and joined up with some friends, Kane and Bounty Hunter, their channels linked below in the description section, the game actually became a lot funner. We started off in the small Dow ships, the ones where all you have is like a spear with a crew of 3, with sharks and crocodiles trying to kill you. But once we earned enough silver and got the blueprints for the next ship up, the better, I believe, which is, I guess, a rammer, that is where we started to actually feel like pirates. And with the fleet of friends, it is much easier to do missions, attack NPC ships, and earn the loot. I like the fact that the smaller ship, the better, has cannons on it, or you can put cannons on it, which makes it obviously feel more piratey than a little boat with just a spear. Most things in the world of Skull and Bones are purchased with silver coins. There was also some items that were like gold pieces of 8. I get the feeling that might be the microtransaction for the game, so there are certain items that you're going to have to, I guess, get real money, like transactioned into pieces of 8 for. Could be wrong about that one, but the only thing we were able to acquire were silver coins. It felt kind of daunting at first, but by the end of the open beta, I had earned over 40,000 silver coins, and I had spent coins on clothing, on ship upgrades, so I still had plenty more coins to spare, and a lot of stuff that I ended up storing in the warehouse. I had some food, cannonballs, raw materials, commodities, etc. The character customization was okay. It was pretty standard, nothing special. You decide between male, female, the pigment of your character, and then eventually you can spend silver coins that you earn in the game on various clothing items, such as hats, jackets, pants, boots, and you can also customize your ships. Another cool thing I like is the fact that you can actually name your ships. I love that feature because in the past, pirates named their ships. And even people today like to name their ships. Even if they have like a bass boat, they'll name it. So what do you basically do in Skull and Bones? You sell around. You got the main story missions with Skurlock, who's the kingpin of St. Anne. He'll give you missions to do. And then you got side quests you can accept. You can just sail around looting, attacking ships, selling the commodities you get. You can go after treasure with treasure maps. And you can also do harvesting via QTEs. We'll talk about that in a minute. There's other things you can do in Skull and Bones, probably when the main game comes out as well. We also did some plundering. That was kind of cool. So there's definitely some options here and there. Plus, you can go back into the Dow and go hunting for crocodiles, sharks, etc. That'll give you additional meat and raw materials if you need it. So there is a few things for you to enjoy in Skull and Bones. This game feels like it's two games that have been stitched together into one. The first part is the main idea of the game. You're in a boat, you're sailing around this map, and by the way, the map is pretty big. We didn't even get to explore all of it, and you can switch from like first person to third person while sailing around in your boat. Whether you're sailing solo or with friends, it's just cool to have some banter back and forth when you have friends, or doing some pirate talk, or just random nonsense you're discussing while you're listening to your crew sing shanties. The ambiance of the game, the waves, the wind, the birds you hear. The music is really good. So you have these moments of calm, and then you'll come across these ships. You'll attack the ships. They'll send more ships after you. Epic battles are happening. You're looting. And then you also do some plundering. And then you're continuing to do the missions and the side quests. Pretty decent loot mechanic. Yeah, it feels kind of repetitive, but it's still enjoyable in my opinion. But then there's the second part of the game that I think was added later on, sometime after the 2017 debut. So you do have the ability to go on some islands, not all. You run around the main island of St. Anne. That's where Skurlock is, and several shops and whatnot. But then you have a few other islands you can disembark on. But there's not much to explore on these islands. Sometimes you literally go like 5-10 feet. Sometimes you can go a little bit further into the island. But there's not much to do. I mean, you run around in third person, selling and buying from NPC vendors, accepting side quests, or completing missions, doing some cooking, picking up cannonballs, coconuts that happen to be laying around, and other items, digging up buried treasure. This is where I feel Skull and Bones fails to fully realize the vision of being I guess an online live service multiplayer version of Black Flag, because the other aspect of a pirate game, besides the ships, which is cool, is being the pirate and like getting into swashbuckling fun. No hand-to-hand combat with NPCs or PvP, so you can't go up and just have fisticuffs with your friends, or no sword fighting, no muskets, no flintlock pistols except for cosmetically, which you can get on some belts, or blunderbusses. It really does feel like the running around the islands part was tacked on sometime after Skull and Bones was announced back in 2017, especially since you spawn from ship to shore by disembarking, then spawn from shore to ship by embarking, without the ability to just swim to shore or swim back to your ship or just jump off the dock onto your ship. There is no swimming allowed in this pirate game, which makes absolutely no sense, because pirates would most likely need to know how to swim. Boarding ships, you can't even board an enemy ship. It happens via cutscene with your crew, and it's over within a few seconds. So not only can you not swim in a pirate game, you don't get to board an enemy ship yourself in this pirate game. And let us now talk about the QTEs for harvesting items. So there are items like trees and stone, iron, etc. And oh yeah, shipwrecks that you can like breach and break open, but you can only do it with QTE events, and you have to have the right tool. Crowbar, saw, scythe, and you also have to have like the right version, because they have like upgraded versions like crowbar 2, 3, 4, etc. Same thing with the saw and the scythe. And you might come across a ship that requires a higher level crowbar, which really sucks. Why can't we just have a cutscene where our crew does the harvesting instead of us having to do the QTE every single time? Because you have the crew take away the fun of boarding the ship, right, with that cutscene. Why force us to do this QET every single time? It gets so boring after all. Okay, you got yellow and green. Hit the green. Hit the green. Oh, damn it, I missed the green. I got the yellow. Or I completely failed because it was too fast and I'm too slow. So yeah, the QTE sucks. It absolutely does. I would much rather just have the crew just jump off the ship and quickly harvest, or no cutscene at all, and just give us the damn materials, right? You show up to the trees, bam, you got the materials, or you got the iron, or you breach the ship and get the loot out. Not really a fan of QTEs. But despite the issues I have with Skull and Bones, I actually had a lot of fun playing Skull and Bones with friends, but this game could have been so much more. A fully realized multiplayer version of Black Flag, one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games that still holds up to this day. There is rumors out there that we might be getting a remake or a remaster of Black Flag. Hopefully, we see that down the road. Which finally leads us to the answer to the question, is Skull and Bones worth $100?
Serious?
No. Is it worth $70? I wish I could say yes, but my answer is no. Skull and Bones is a very fun experience for pirate game enjoyers, especially with friends. But the price should be lower. I would say $30, $40 US, especially since Ubisoft is attempting to make this yet another live service game with a battle pass, microtransaction, currency, etc. There's other ways that Ubisoft is going to be making money off Skull and Bones. The price tag does not need to be $70 US. And asking $100 for this game is ridiculous. So in my opinion, Skull and Bones is definitely a wait for a sale, or for it to be free 1 month on PlayStation Plus somewhere down the road, or Game Pass. I doubt it'll ever come to Game Pass, especially since it is kind of in competition with Sea of Thieves, developed by Rare, which is owned by, Microsoft. Or just wait till it possibly goes free to play. Once the price lowers for Skull and Bones, I will most likely end up getting it because, like I said, I had a good time with my friends over the weekend playing it, and I wouldn't mind going back to Skull and Bones, but for a little bit lower price than $70. Now, if you're a fellow pirate game enjoyer and you're looking for some pirate action, I do have some suggestions. If you're just wanting an amazing single-player pirate assassin game, I would highly recommend Assassin's Creed Black Flag. With an asterisk. If the rumors turn out to be true, there is a very real possibility that we might be getting a remake or remaster to Black Flag. However, if you're looking for an online alternative to Skull and Bones and you happen to have an Xbox One or an Xbox Series or a really decent gaming PC, I highly recommend Sea of Thieves. But if you want to go old school, you cannot go wrong with Sid Meier's Pirates. That game still slaps today. If Skull and Bones goes on sale or ends up free on PlayStation Plus or Game Pass or as a quote-unquote free-to-play, would that interest you in playing Skull and Bones? Or is the $70 asking price reasonable in your opinion? Or is it just a hard pass no matter what the price for Skull and Bones happens to be? Thoughts, views, opinions, welcome, as always, below in the comments section.